them come. This is their fate.
All right, all right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. I am your host Deontay here with my near and dear friends Jalen and Josh. We've been talking, we've been chilling, doing whatever we do on the daily. I don't even know about all that. We just been talking about life in general. But now we gotta talk about some games. That's what we here for. That's what y'all came to see. That's what y'all want to hear about. But we got a few topics. I mean, it's the end of the year, so we're gonna try to do something around that, around the spirit of the new year. Is looking back at what everything that has come out, give it a grade at least. Like take a look at it, see how it shaped up, and what to expect in the new year. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about other things as well. But before we start, as usual, Jalen, Josh, how y'all doing?
Trying
Well,
to think.
I'm trying to think.
doing good.
Well,
It's end of the year. It's been I think we all been through a lot, like working and stuff with family throughout the year, but thankful that we, made it to the end of the year. Everybody seemed happy and healthy.
yes,
Um
Lord. Yes, Lord.
yeah, I had a quiet holiday myself, but it's been a good season. Good to have some time off. So yeah, I'm just thankful. About you, Jalen?
You sound like Marshawn Lynch, man. You thankful, huh? But just fine. Uh, well, I would be doing a little bit better if it wasn't 1:38 Eastern time a.m. I had a little more energy. I'm gonna try to rile it up for y'all. But nah, man. I mean, I've been cool. It's a good holiday. Um, I wish it was a little bit better. Uh, I don't know. This Christmas seemed a little bit different, but I am getting older and stuff like that too. So, um, just trying to take that into consideration. Trying to be a little bit more festive, stuff like that. Um, I do gotta say I'm a little bit annoyed that a whole bunch of people around me getting sick with this freaking COVID, Omarion or Obi-Wan or whatever variant you want to call it.
You talk about
I'm
that
like, dog,
Optimus Prime.
that Optimus Prime, man. I'm like, bro, I'm on break. Y'all not supposed to be sick. I'm trying to hang with people, and they be like, yeah, man, Omarion got me. Like, I got an ice box. I'm like, bro, dog, like,
Decepticons.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
man.
Decepticons out, bro. Megatron and all them, you know what I'm saying? But CDC ordered the thing to 5 days and stuff. I'm like, bro, I don't even care about this virus no more. This junk is a whole common cold. It's a whole joke. I don't even care no more, bro. Boosters, choosers, anti-vaxxers, vaxxers, you
Oh
name it,
my
it don't matter.
god.
I'm just like, bro, it
Yeah, you better
is.
watch out. Porygon 2 gonna get you.
Man, you're gonna have that doobie turning to Porygon Z.
Oh my
Um,
god.
but no, I mean it's been straight, man. I've been staying safe and stuff like that. Been cool. A couple of my friends got the COVID-19, the Marion or Icebox variant. So yeah. Other than that, everything's straight.
Yeah, man. It has been crazy. I know my whole family got hit. They had a sleeper agent and our niece. She was passing out that COVID-19. I said,
COVID-19.
yo, everybody got hit. They said, go get Chad. I said, ooh, I'm so glad I skipped the festivities this year. Yeah, so my brother had it, my sister, my other brother, Cameron had it, my nephew, my niece had it, of course. They were around my grandma, my mom. They haven't went and got tested yet. Hopefully they don't have it. But they do. They both went and got their boosters as well as their regular shot. And let me tell you, that booster put me on my back, bro. I said, "Oh my god, what is in this thing?" That junk had me hurting. I was weak, and yeah. Anyways, that booster, that boy, that mug definitely take you down and lift you back up. But hopefully, with those preventative measures, ain't nobody gonna my grandma and my mom, at least, they are individuals that do believe the vaccine is helpful, and they have taken it. And I think they also have gotten their booster. Outside of my mom, I think my grandma did get her booster shot. So yeah, it's just, scary as usual, but hopefully it's becoming more of a, again, as you stated, more of a mild cold, mild flu than a full on attack on your systems now. At least when people have either had it before or either have had the vaccine, For some reason, it's not as deadly as it was before. It was obviously as a variant of the previous one. So a lot of people are getting it, and the only reason that people are not, being able to fight it because they never had it before and they didn't get vaccinated, or they can't get into a hospital because of they just overrun right now. So those are unfortunate cases, but we're just hoping everybody stays safe. And yeah, but that is my stint with the COVID-19 that happened over the holiday season. I was like, I got my babies on the way. My babies, they here now. So I was like, nah, it was a whole thing anyway. So yeah, no thank you. And it was funny because my sister, she was like, when they were talking to everybody, my brother's baby mom was like, yeah, I got a non-contagious flu. She was like, non-contagious? So she ain't even go. And it turns out that, I told you they were sleeper agents. That was Izzy mama. So I was like, Izzy, where you getting from? Man, so that they had sleeper agents over there, man. But it was still, like I said, everybody's recovering well. They're all past it now. So that's the good thing. I can laugh about it now. But yeah. What was some things y'all did now, I guess, over this time? Yeah, anything game related? I know I was playing Tales of Arise, which is pretty good. Get combat wise, story is okay. Hopefully it gets better. I'm on the third world or whatever, or area. Anything gaming related y'all been doing this past couple of days? This over the holiday? Any festive gaming? Any what you call it? Any did you get a second controller, Jalen? Did you allow your brothers to play? The last time we talked, they was frustrated because you only had one controller because you only play one player games.
I'm not finna get another controller because he said so.
So that's a no. Okay, that's a no.
That's a strong negative. I'm like, bro, what I look like buying a whole controller for a game that's not even 2-player? Like, make it make sense, bro.
Man, that's where you buy games that's 2 players. So when that situation occurs, you have games that 2 people can play, man. That's all.
No.
You ain't gotta be that strong with it. You just said, nah, man, I ain't got to that, and I don't think it's necessary. Man, that's a negative. I ain't buying nothing off what he said. A little strong, don't you think? That's funny though. All right. What about you, Josh? Anything you've been playing over the festivity season?
Not really, because Halo came out earlier this month, and I finished the campaign probably a little bit before Christmas. Mm-hmm. And pretty much since then, I've just been chilling, watching TV, actually. Y'all know how I feel about TV. Wasting my time, but...
Oh, man.
But
don't say it ain't so.
I seen the final episode, yeah. I know.
Hey, they were scrapping that other episode. I was like, fight.
What final episode? What y'all talking about?
He talking about Insecure.
Last episode. I was like, square up. Swing on his first, so he got to read the clap, yo.
I ain't seen none of that. But, okay. He's watching some
Yeah.
television. I see you out here.
Yeah, and so you know how I feel about TV,
Yeah.
television shows. You know how I feel about anime. I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
neither one.
Yeah.
However, every now and then it's a show that reaches my expectations. I watched Hawkeye because I had to watch it. It was weak, and that's all I got to say. You can talk about Hawkeye, but then I thought What If was really good. Like the middle of the season episode was really good, and then like the season finale was really good. And so like I recommended that to you before.
Mm.
But I've been watching Arcane on Netflix, which is the League of Legends related television show. And I was saying to you earlier that you don't have to know anything about it because it's like a origin story for a couple of the characters, but League has like so many characters that you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to know anything about, but it's just these handful of characters that you're gonna learn about in their world that they live in. And it's just really good because it's like some of the best animation that is like out right now. It's 3D, but it looks like
Animated.
perfect. Like
Okay.
yeah, like it looks like 2D. You know how like Dragon Ball Fighters looks, where it's obviously it's 3D, but they do so well with blending the motion and everything that it looks
Yeah.
2D. Arcane is the same situation. Like they spent a whole bunch of money on it, and then the fights are all like really good. It's not like anime fights, but it's more grounded. It's something like uh, what you look at like John Wick and it's like, oh, he punched him and it looked like that really hurt. That's what I got to say about the animation. The fights and the
Gotcha.
animation looks really good. And then
Okay.
overall, but I think people really just like it for the story because they designed it where you don't have to know anything. It's just you gonna learn to care about these characters and the stuff they're going through. And I guess it's pretty like What If was pretty lighthearted for most of the season, except for like one or two episodes. Whereas like Arcane is pretty like serious. Like I don't want to say like Game of Thrones, but you expect something lighter from a animated show, but you get something more like adult oriented. So which means the stakes are higher, so you actually care when people are in danger. Um,
Okay. Okay. Interesting. 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 Um. Yeah, I was thinking about that, and it's something about I don't know. I never had a. I mean, because when you were talking about, you got like nothing really, you've been playing nothing, but you had switched back to watching a little TV. I was like, during the holidays, there's usually like go to stuff that I usually watch to put me back into the holiday spirits, whether that's a movie or not. But there's never been a video game that I'll go back to and play. And I'm like, okay, I remember this, and this is why this was a holiday type of game, like something
mhm.
that reminds me of memories of previous history of holidays. It just doesn't that none of that occurs in gaming, in my opinion. Or do y'all see that differently? Do y'all have like games that you play often when you like get some time off and like during the holidays and you'd be like, I just throw this back on because I played it so often that it's just fun to play or whatever. I don't really have anything like that, but I do have movies, of course, but nothing like media from regarding video games or something like that, like interactive media that I go back to during holiday seasons. Do y'all got anything like that, or y'all?
Like a holiday game. Not honestly, not really, because like if I go back to a game, it's just because I feel like I'm in the mood to play it, not because it's a specific time of year. And
Yeah,
then when it just comes to like I'm gonna play this, for Christmas, it's probably gonna be a multiplayer game where it's like, oh, I know me and the people I'm play with got time off and we can play, we chill out before everybody go do their holiday thing. But
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
not really. Um,
Yeah, I never thought about it until I was like, well, that's interesting. It's like this is a more engaging type of like most of the time. Um, I guess I'd pull out the Oculus if I was to go meet up with family, and I'd be
Yeah,
like,
probably more
I
family games.
yeah, I'd pull out that and say, okay, I know for a fact they gonna get some enjoyment out of this, and we can have some fun just playing this and watching them freak out about the virtual reality. So those are things that I would, you know, entertain or bring with me if I'm gonna play something. You're right in regards to like Mario Party or something like that. I would take that, or if I was playing like Smash Bros. If I was playing something that we all knew everybody was gonna want to play, I'd take something like that. But then nothing like really holiday oriented that's like been sustained that this is the game you need to play during the holidays or anything for that matter. I don't know if there's ever been like something like that where people would always go back to play in that way. That's interesting because I would with a lot of games that have come out, you would think something would stand out as a game that's like that stand the test of time or whatever, or would be like attached to a certain time of the year. Like there's scary
Yeah.
games or whatever, and there's but not really. There's nothing that really attaches to a certain particular year or a certain particular time of year or a feeling per se. Is more about yeah. Not it's nothing like
Yeah,
that.
probably board games.
And
They're
if
more suited for that
yeah,
that seasonal. Um,
like feeling like that holiday spirit type thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess. It's just interesting that no media like that has captured that type of. I remember the last thing that I remember playing, and I was like, "This would be fun to play during holidays." Was Dead Rising 4, and you're just running around in Santa hats and stuff. But
Hmm.
it's just goofy fun. But yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was like, hmm. Like I go back and watch movies. I go certain movies I watch. Like I'm always gonna watch some stupid romance movie that's Christmas. That's just driven into Christmas. I think last year it was Last Christmas. I watched that, and then this year it was like uh, the Christmas. It was something on Netflix. It was terrible, but I watched it, and it. I guess I usually go back to something of that nature, or at least if not that, it'll be a movie that is in that realm of Christmas.
Hmm.
But maybe that's where you just get your fix for like getting you into that mood or whatever. But I just never. I thought I just thinking about it, and I was like, I never had anything like that. But anyway, moving on. Wasn't meant to be a topic. Um, what we wanted to talk about was just a layer look back at the uh basically a year look back. Not a game of the year type deal. We was just more so, was this a good year for gaming? That is the question. Really, it's not about your game of the year. It's not really about your. I guess you got to put your biases aside. If you had a really good standout game for this year, you have to look at it in totality for all types of genres here, horror, shooters, RPGs, and just look at the year and say, is this objectively a good year for gaming? What pushed the envelope? What occurred? And what made it a good year for gaming? And it take a little prep work, but not much. For me, at least. For me, it wasn't. It was and it wasn't at the same time. It just felt very average. It wasn't dry. I didn't feel like I didn't have games to play. Very it was like for the first 2 months of the year. And then after that it was pretty fun. It was like it shot up, games started coming out, and it was just like it continued to grow. It wasn't like it was bad games. Now the games that were coming out were all varied in different spaces, and they weren't 10 out of 10s per se. Nothing was like a 10 out of 10 for me. Like you had games that came out like Microsoft Simulator and Microsoft it's like flying simulator. It was a great milestone to have that game running on the Xbox, but it ain't my game to play. It's not something I'm fun and interested in doing, but it was a good game. So you want to take into a factor like obviously Forza Horizon 5 came later. Halo Infinite came late. I think Tales of Arise was at the beginning. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was at the beginning. Guardians came late. Riders Republic came late. Far Cry 6 came late. So really you were banking on like Assassin's Creed Valhalla till February ish. You was talk about some boars. But you had Mario Golf. You had these are just the games I actually bought. There's plenty of games out there I did not. And um, I guess when I look at it, I can say my I was satisfied with the games I bought. There's but when I have a catalog of games that I haven't beat, 9 times out of 10 they were sevens or eights. They weren't games that I was like dying to play, and I didn't have any of those. Like in the world stood still when Zelda came out, and then there's games like God of War. There's games like even Ghost. People were playing the crap out of that game. There's games that you can say, yes, this definitively made the year, but it wasn't really nothing like that. It was a lot of okay games that came out to make it a collectively okay, year. But was it a good year? I it's That's why I say yes and no, because it's hard to say no. Final Fantasy did not come out this year, correct? I'm not
Nope.
mistaken in that. I'm just thinking of it because I played it this year.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's Metroid Dread came out this year. Hmm. Yeah, I'm still gonna stick with yes and no. To be with a more so falling into the no, because Resident Evil, Eternal was a bore. Deathloop was really good. Monster Hunter Rise. I mean, Mass Effect. Hmm. I don't know, man. It's I just feel like I play a lot of these games and nothing felt like pure movie magic. Nothing was like, God, oh, this is a good game. It was too many misses for me. There was too many things that I played and was disappointed in, like The Ascent, like Outriders, like um, Call of Duty came out after, but I mean, obviously, I'm not playing that Call of Duty, but the Vanguard or whatever. But it was really just, and then I think it was more so because Nintendo had it felt like they had a really dry. I don't want to just say that they had a dry year, but they had like a year where they weren't really putting out much like super heat, and then everybody else, like the people that normally do like PlayStation, they weren't really putting out much big things. They just had a lot of good trinkets. It's like nobody wants to ever give a nasty drought. So you're going to find like these games in the middle, outside of the bigger games that's going to keep you entertained. Like Valheim, for some reason was a major hit. I still don't get that game. I still don't get the appeal. But these types of games were really kind of defined for a while what people were playing and what people were talking about. But yeah, I mean, it was good games here. I just don't think it was a great year. I just think it was an okay year, And if you like games, you'll probably have some fun. If you like games, you'll probably have some fun. But you won't be blown away in any category, in my opinion. There's no great action game that you gotta play. There's no great RPG that you gotta play. There's no great shooter that you gotta play. I mean, the biggest thing that probably hit the most was a racer, and that was Forza. Like, definitively, that's the best Forza I've ever played. But it's Forza, and they never get nothing wrong. It's always just adding better to bettering the horizon. So that would be the only game I could definitively say, like, this game is top tier regardless of what year you put it up against. Outside of, like, when Midnight Club and everything came out, they were just ahead of their time, and Midnight Club was just fire. It was always fire. So I feel like when I look back at this year, I'm probably gonna think about uh like the steady pacing of Forza Horizon 5 and how it became to this peak, but it's not taking leaps and it's not going crazy like you would think Forza could. It's just more so about elevating your oneself. It's like, how do you best myself? It's nothing else out there that's in competition or really hard, really in that same lane as far as a open world concept that really can tango with it. So um, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
I agree that I feel like it was a light year. I'll say average overall because when you actually look at the releases, a lot of them, the first half of the year were just upgrades to PS5 and Series X.
Yep.
So a lot of companies didn't even release any new games. They just, like Control, they did their upgrade back in like February. So
Mm-hmm.
that was half the year. The second half of the year was when stuff like Ratchet and Clank and stuff would actually drop. But even still, I feel like all the games that came out this year were. I don't think it was a year full of like bad games. I just think that, like you said, it's not those world game defining video games. So like
Yeah.
if you put 2021 versus 2011, what games came out? I'm pretty sure like 2011, it was like, oh wow, this game came out. This was like everybody was playing this, but like this year, I feel like it was probably more on like online games. Like maybe people were just playing Warzone and Fortnite all year long and not really worried about uh, you know, game releases.
Yeah. It seemed like this was the year for I guess this is the year I woke up to the real popularity of Roblox and Fortnite and games that really, siphon the pockets of the young adults in this world, uh, or the young children. Really, I don't think young adults, but just young children. I just don't find anything that was. I don't know. It was too groundbreaking. Really, the biggest thing I've noticed is just how crazy microtransactions have gotten, and the leaps they have made to try to figure out anti-cheat systems for games that just have a rampant amount of cheaters. I like to look at innovative stuff and think back on the things that were very innovative. Even though Destiny 2 sucked, they kind of tried to get a handle on how their online works. And it seems like the only way to get people to stop cheating on your game is to make them pay to make an account and not be free to play. Because it seems like nobody wants to pay $5 or $10 to actually cheat. They'd rather just not do that, and this curbs a lot of cheaters away. But um, yeah, I mean, when I look back, I look at good games that I've played. I don't look like I don't. It's not like memorable. Like, God, that was a really good game, and that was a really cool moment. That was a fun game to play. and there's plenty of years where I can go back and say that for other stuff. So it was very mid sauce in my opinion. Uh, people may not feel that way. I mean, you have uh good games, and then you just have pretty okay games. So it's not like this was a terrible year for games. It was just not. It was just not. It was pretty boring. That's what I would say. It was pretty boring. It was. It was a what you would expect. You got some Ubisoft titles. You got some remasters. You got some remakes. You got some. You got some adventure games. You got some horror games. You can play them if you want, but they're not gonna make or break you. You'll never be like, "Oh, I gotta play this game." It's not. It doesn't really matter. You probably find another game that does something similar to that, maybe better. There's Guardians of the Galaxy, the new action adventure game, but if you really want to play a good Marvel game, with like fighting and storyline, just play Spider-Man. It already happened, so you don't really gotta play that. I mean, if you want to play Guardians, obviously you're playing Guardians. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. Yeah, you could play Rift Apart, but you can just play regular Ratchet and Clank, the first one, and you probably can get the same feel, and it's probably cheaper. Psychonauts 2, same thing. Ratchet and Clank, they were basically substitutes for each other. Uh, Returnal, you can obviously play Hades, a much superior game in my opinion, and it was shorter. Resident Evil Village, you ain't gonna top Resident Evil 4, so why even try? It's fun, but you could play Resident Evil 4. Like, wow, I want to play that. I can play Resident Evil 4. Then Deathloop, it has a different spin, but then I was watching freaking Skill Up, and he was telling me about Moon Crash on Prey, and I'm just like, wait, this game already came out, and like, I want to play now. I want to play Moon Crash on Prey, but I don't feel like putting in the time. I guess you can buy Moon Crash on its own, and then Epic just gave it away for free. So then I was like, yeah, y'all making me want to play this game already. So maybe it's something else I go back to. But I heard Deathloop basically was a rather uninteresting Moon Crash from Prey, the DLC that came out on Prey, the game from Arcane Studios. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like we have substitutes. Halo Infinite, I have a substitute for that, but Halo Infinite is really good too. I have a substitute for Far Cry 6, pretty much every last other Far Cry, so it wasn't really like I was a big deal. Yeah, that's how I feel about everything, really. It wasn't nothing that was like irreplaceable. Everything was replaceable. Even Metroid. Metroid was a good game, but I'm pretty sure if I wanted to play a Metroid game, I could find one and it'd be cheaper, or I didn't have to wait for it. But I don't want to substitute everything because there's no substitutes payable for that. So I would say, because it's been such a long time for a mainstream, newer age Metroid, no, don't take that away from me. So I guess that is a game that you would want to play. But there's been plenty of mainstream Resident Evils. There's been plenty of mainstream it's a mainstream Ratchet and Clank. There's a mainstream RPGs. There's mainstream shooters. So it wasn't really nothing that was like, wow, I need to play this. So that was the year in a nutshell for me. Anything to add there, J Boyd? Anything you was fonding over, or I mean, please don't talk about Warzone. But anything that you felt like was even remotely interesting? I don't know. It's been like a pretty slow year, to be honest. But only thing I remember you playing was Sonic. So.
Yeah, I think overall, like, I mean, you summed it up well. Like, it wasn't no like groundbreaking or like remarkable games or anything. I mean, I ain't gonna say remarkable. It was nothing groundbreaking. Um, you know me, I'm kind of selective on the games that I play and stuff like that. It wasn't anything that like piqued my attention. I'm like, well, I really need to play this. I bought Sonic Generator Colors only because I simply didn't beat Sonic Colors that I had on the Wii a long time ago, and people always talked about how great of a Sonic game this was, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But other than that, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I think Ratchet and Clank would have been cool, but you got that price tag, and I mean, it's still just Ratchet and Clank. I mean, I feel like it's only so much Ratchet and Clank can do.
Agreed.
And then you Sony doing what they do. Xbox, I mean, you know, they ain't coming out no exclusives.
See, that's that disrespect I be talking about. You hear this?
Man,
you hear this, man,
no
Josh? That's disrespect.
They not.
Man, man, they finna come out. See, that's what I'm talking about, and that's why we talk about it. What we anticipating too. They dropping straight heat, man. Stop playing with them. They bought studios.
Talk about that. That's cool too, but I'm still waiting on Scalebound. And
Hey, I'm trying to fly around my dragon too, T. Man, they playing, bro. But yeah, Scalebound. Man, I don't know how they thought that up, dude. Man, they talk about fumbling the bag, bro. Xbox was tragic for a little bit. They knew
they was gonna mess that game up. They was like, look, bro, this ain't no shooter game. We might as well just stop right now, bro, while we ahead, because we finna mess this up.
Bro, that's hilarious. But yeah, I just know. I mean, Xbox got a good lineup coming. I mean, we could talk about it, but they have some decent games at least. Hopefully, because they bought studios. That's about it. They really just bought studios, and now they got decent games. So nothing coming out from them that's like, well, how do you say? It's nothing like from them directly that we all anticipating. Like, I'm pretty sure y'all gonna I have no high hopes for Fable. I like Playground. I hope they do a good job, but at the end of the day, it's Fable. So I'm just like, how well can you make this? Is it gonna be like something groundbreaking, or is it just gonna be a reimagination of Fable? If it's a reimagination of Fable, I don't really care, you know. So it's not really something that I'm like anticipating them to have like super good games from their first party studios. I know they gonna come out with something, and they gonna come out with stuff that's decent to play. I just don't go to them for innovation. They're not great at storytelling, and they're not great at innovation. Nintendo is most of the people that's great at innovation or creating something new from old stuff. Sony is really good at storytelling. And then there's Microsoft that's like okay at everything. They keep pushing the consumer, aspect of everything, and that's great because I never disagree that they have the best package. Period. Like that's hands down. There's no arguing that. In my opinion, there's no arguing that they have the best deal in gaming at the moment. And that's even without. They had the best gaming. They had the best deal in gaming without Game Pass for a while. People just didn't realize it. And then, when they added Game Pass, it was like ridiculous. It's like, oh my god, I get all these extra benefits too. Like, man, you should have known about that a while ago, but glad you know now. So there's things that it's things that that they will always be good at, but let's see. Anticipating. That's what we're supposed to be talking about. Talk to me, people. Talk to me. I'm talking too much. What y'all got for me? What y'all anticipating? What y'all need? What y'all looking for?
And we got Sonic.
Man, stop
Sonic
talking.
Frontiers, bro.
Oh my God, you talking about Sonic? Sonic Frontier is gonna embarrass you, man. They gonna be like, I'm gonna play this back. Sonic Frontiers. Oh, I'm a 4 out of 10. Too much water.
Man, we
It's
finna
gonna
see,
be
bro.
embarrassing, man.
Just like you got hope for Microsoft, man, I can hope for Sonic Frontier.
I don't have hope for
My
Microsoft. I have a calculated response. I said they bought good studios. I never said Microsoft had good studios because they don't know how to make games sometimes. I said a calculated response is they bought studios that actually have made games that have won rewards and have won, success. There's their stuff. Sonic hasn't been good in a very long time, but you still got hope. Explain that.
Man, they had Sonic Mania. People like Sonic Mania.
But then
People
another
like Sonic
studio
This
buy that.
it's not the same people. This
Yeah,
is Sonic Team.
it's the Sonic
Remember,
team. Oh, like that's a
I
different
When the
team.
last good Sonic Team game?
I know you ain't gonna say Rise of Lyrics. Go ahead, tell me.
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
And
Oh
what was
my
that?
God.
2001.
Yeah, it don't matter, bro. Just know that they got just a possibility, man.
Oh my God, you said a possibility. I'm trying to
Man,
get
you just
some.
gotta
I'm
let
trying
them see what they do. See what they
to.
do. Just the UG Naka might give them some pointers or something.
He said, "Let me see what they do." All right, yeah, sure.
I don't know.
I mean,
If they can make the gameplay fine, it might be fine. But 100%, they're about to have a trash story with long ass unskippable cutscenes with a bunch of new characters, and Sonic gonna turn into a frog or some dumb shit.
man, no, he not, bro. I know he not because I felt
He
it.
gonna turn into a frog.
I turned into a fox. That's just fun.
Dude.
Nah, but I don't know. I see how that Sonic game come out, but I mean, not necessarily exclusive. I mean, I want to see what the Elden Ring finna be hitting for. That's probably the only game I'm kind of looking forward to. I mean, they got that Pokemon like Arceus game and stuff, but I still don't know about that game, man. I don't know. I just feel like Game Freak, or I don't even think Game Freak making. I think somebody else might be, or I think I'm getting them confused with Brilliant Diamond. But I don't got a lot of faith in them to making something outside of Pokemon, like the traditional Pokemon. And as the time we talked about it before, as time been progressing and stuff like that, they've been kind of lagging behind what is like graphics or like frame, you know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that, like pushing boundaries. They good with like making sprites and, they formula again to get a little dated. But other than that, I mean, Elden Ring and that was like the only two games that I was looking forward to. I still want to see if the Sonic game look like. I'm not really looking forward to that. And then maybe we'll see if Digimon Survive actually get out of development hell, because it might be OP for that. And I think that's really about it as far as like the games. I don't think I had anything else that really came to mind. I say something about Dying Light too, but I don't play that. That's a Deontay game. So.
And then ain't coming out either.
Man, y'all tripping. Yeah, that game coming out. That mug coming out. It's gonna be a
February?
beautiful thing. No, it's coming out in February. It's coming out like I think February. Yeah, you're right. February 4th. What I'm looking forward to and anticipating the most is probably going to be Dying Light 2. Yeah, you put a nail right on the coffin, but
you only bought Dying Light how many times?
Twice. So stop the cap, Gene.
I ain't got it, but I asked a question.
Man, I bought it twice. That's it. It wasn't like I was buying it all crazy, buying it on every console or nothing like that. Right now, it's looking to be another dry year, but we'll see. I feel like if God of War come out, Horizon, they're gonna give that game so much praise that's gonna feel like it's a good year. But honestly, I'm talking about we got Crossfire X, we got Elden Ring. So really, we have some really big games, right? And I'm throwing Dying Light in 2 in there because that's my favorite game. So shut up, y'all can deal with it. God of War 2, Dying Light 2, Pokemon. If it's a good Pokemon game, this will make or break. Maybe if this year is like super dry or super not dry, because Pokemon RPG open world is groundbreaking. And if it's just as good as Breath of the Wild, has a lot of, hidden things and you can do a lot of stuff, that will make that game at least become a differentiator. Yeah. So it would probably help in, creating this 2022 was a good year for this reason. So we'll see. I have zero hopes for it, but they can surprise me. They always do. And we can see from there. But if Horizon and God of War come out swinging, and they come out swinging hard, added on top of that, we got a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 from Dying Light 2. We got a 10 out of 10 or a I'm basically creating our game of the year category right now, because if we got I'm putting Dying Light 2 in there. I'm putting Horizon. I'm putting Pokemon. I'm putting God of War. And I'm putting Elden Ring. There's nothing else really that's like really big outside of Starfield, and we know nothing about it. So if that game, no cap, like a really good space RPG, then you for sure Microsoft winning. Microsoft gonna win, because not only is it exclusive, it's coming still out on PC, but it's exclusive to the Xbox. And this game is everything that the people want. I still don't get the hype for Skyrim, but you can know for sure it's so many millions and millions of copies. If this has any inkling of that, and it shows that type of level of change or like groundbreaking stuff, then we got probably one of the best years in gaming since 2018, in my opinion. Yeah, 2018 was probably the biggest year recently. Not 2019, no. 2020, no. 2018. So, I mean, that's my opinion, because those games would be the ones that really push the envelope. I mean, Bayonetta 3, of course. Like these undercutting games that will lift everything else up. I mean, that's nice. And then that's where you kind of Dragon Ball The Breakers. Is that game y'all was talking about?
That's the multiplayer horror game.
Friday the
Dude.
13th or Dead by Daylight or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Wow. And then yeah, I mean, those are the games that I'm going to keep my eye on. Those are the games that I will hope would come out next year, and if they do, that would make that year a really big year for gaming. I mean, Little Devils Inside, that can be an indie sweep, because I know that game looks really cool. And that could probably sweep the indie section, no problem. They pushed back Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake because that John looked at garbage. If that comes out shooting, then you got a Ubisoft hitter too. Redfall come out and it's a hitter. You got another Xbox exclusive, and I don't know. That would make it a good year. What y'all think? I mean, because that's enough. Legend. I ain't even talking about Legend of Zelda because I don't think that game coming out next year. So, but that would be enough, in my opinion. Mm, I'm trying to think if that's enough. I think it's enough. I know if and then Suicide Squad comes out, Kill the Justice League. I don't think that's coming out though. So I don't want to count those. But I think God of War, because it's still coming on the PS4, so they have to be done with that game mostly. It's not like they're pushing boundaries. They're remaking it in a better way and they're telling a better story. As long as they tell a better story, they win. Same thing goes for Horizon since it's coming on the PlayStation. I don't think they're gonna be doing much to kind of. They might give you some more hair follicles and your your foliage might move instead of being stiff. That's about it. So I don't think those will be hard to kind of produce. Um, but yeah, those that I mean that's how I feel about it. I ain't gonna keep saying the same thing over. That's how I feel. Rebuttal. Any rebuttals? Oh, no rebuttals. So where are we all in agreement?
Yeah, no rebuttals. I feel like I know y'all down on it, but from everything that people have actually played and talked about Elden Ring, I feel like will probably be the one of the better releases. I don't know if it's like Game Gear or anything like that, because like the story might not be interesting at all. But as far as like the game and the world, it seems like it's a really good improvement on what they've made before. And I guess we'll just see when we play it, but I don't think there's anything they can show at this point that would like make you hype for it, which is fine. You don't have to be hype for it. I'm just ready to play it because I'm ready for Dark Souls 2 Part 2. Um,
Mm.
and then otherwise, yeah, Horizon, I ain't gonna play it. uh, God of War, probably ain't gonna play it. Pokemon, uh, I don't care about this one, unfortunately. Like, it seemed like a good idea, but I don't. Nothing they showed me has been interesting. I feel like at this point, there are so many other Pokemon-like games that are way better than Pokemon. Like, I'd rather Digimon Cyber Sleuth 3 than a new Pokemon game at this point. Um, or even the Monster Hunter Stories 2 came out, and it's literally just a Pokemon game and has like way better graphics and it has a story. So I don't know. Game Freak just trash.
Yeah.
And and I feel like they're trash because they're not Nintendo. It's Game Freak. If it was Nintendo, they actually worked with them. Nintendo would upgrade them and they actually be coming out with some fire. But we'll see. Uh, yeah, Suicide Squad. I thought it looked good. I guess I don't know if it'll actually be like blow me away, but I feel like it'll be a fun little 10-hour game. So wait to see what that look like. Gotham Knights, I don't even know if that will actually come out next year. And I guess I got to see more of it. Rocksteady, I think is that one Rocksteady?
Rocksteady is the one with it's the Suicide Squad. The other one is
Monolith?
WB Games Monolith.
Oh,
Yeah.
WB. Okay. Yeah, it might be all right, but I haven't seen enough of that. Um, yeah, nothing else really. Like, if Hellblade come out next year, but I feel like they might need more time. Um, yeah, otherwise probably just some smaller titles that I might check out. But I feel like for me, Elden Ring, since it comes out early, that's the game I'm looking forward to most, and then everything else will actually see if it's ready to come out next year because a lot of this stuff might not even show up.
Yeah. I don't. I still don't understand Ubisoft's Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, freaking game. I was like, Why are y'all putting this out and why is this a big deal? It makes me seem like y'all are stuck somewhere in the past and do not know your audience very well anymore. I don't want to watch
Man, you know
y'all
they got
avatar.
7 movies coming out.
Never, they're never coming out. Those that's a lie, and that's some
Man,
pandering right there.
man, they got 4 of them on the shelf. They just gotta mix them and master them.
Stop the cap, man. Stop the cap. The games ain't coming out because he want technology to be you can't even tell the difference. He wanted so good that it's like it never get to the point where he wanted. So I don't think the movies will ever come out, and it's fine because I'm over it. It's been long enough, and you saw what they did to Matrix, so keep it. Just keep it. I don't want you ruining my franchises no more. But yeah, I mean, how many games in a year have to be 10 out of 10s for it to be considered, or not 10 out of 10s? How many games have to be revolutionary or do so many things well for that year to be considered top tier year?
I feel like it should be like I don't think the Game Awards are like the end all to be all like for ranking games, but I feel like when you get to the end of the year and they're doing like their Game of the Year category, there should be at least like 3 games in that category that are actual competition. Like if you look at this year, the games that are in there were okay. There was like nothing in there that was like I felt like this has to be the game of the year, or I'm gonna be mad if this lose. But if you look at a couple years ago, it's like I forget when Persona 5 came out, but like for example, Persona 5, and if that came out the same year as Breath of the Wild and Horizon, like if those games all came out the same year, then you can be like, okay, one of these games has to win, but it's hard to choose because they're all really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And next year, maybe Elden Ring is in there, maybe God of War, but I feel like looking at the list right now, I don't see 5 or 6 games that are like gonna fill up that category yet. And obviously, you got to wait and see. It could be a couple surprises next year, but at least that's how I feel. It might only actually have to be one game because I feel like when Zelda Breath of the Wild came out and Odyssey came out the same year, but I'm pretty sure everybody knew Zelda was the game of the year, like the whole year. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But that's because it was just so different. So I mean, I get that though. That makes sense. Zelda was like really good, and there's like that one game that gonna win. It's like unanimous, and then there's other times where it's like you don't know. But I mean, there's plenty of games here that could potentially be good games. They could be really strong and very, you know, very. I don't know how you say it. Very unique and experience type games. I just don't know if that's enough. Sometimes you have to be a AAA game and have a unique experiences to really have that. Oh, this year was a definitive year in gaming where stuff kind of changed. Um, like Witcher 3, like those types of years in gaming. I don't know if there's any been that way in a while. I mean, once Witcher 3 came out, it was like a thing. You had to play it, or you had to know about it, or you had to see about it because a lot of people were copying it. So it was like that type of impact. Um, I don't know if I've seen that type of impact recently. I mean, I've seen Breath of the Wild take stuff from Witcher 3, but I don't know if anybody's been stealing Witcher Zelda things. I mean, there has been games like Immortals, and there's been that one game. um, that are like, Zelda clones. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of a game that like really has set the tone for other games and to come along next. Do y'all play? Do you play? Did you play Stalker or anything like that?
Uh, no, I didn't play none of those old um PC shooters.
Do y'all play horror games at all?
I don't.
Uh I don't play the hide and seek horror games, and if it's a survival horror or something like that, I feel like it just has to be interesting. Like I'm not interested in zombies. I played Dead Space because like it was a cool, space game, but like I don't play like zombie games.
Gotcha. No zombie games, but you do play horror, like psychological
Yeah,
horror
I
and
mean, I
stuff
would
like
have
that.
played Resident Evil 8. It's just I'm not into their first person mode. I know people like it, but I prefer the third person Resident Evils.
Gotcha. Um. Okay. Well. Um. I'm trying to think of like games that I thought of or seen. Like Saifu seemed like it's gonna be unique, and if their system can be like, because they're seeing the system looks a little clunky right now. I ain't gonna hold you. I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know about this. But I hope that it's like polished and becomes a little bit better and it's more. It feels like that's a game that's better to play if than to look at because you feel like okay, this could have been a little bit smoother, but maybe the combinations and the way you kind of have to press buttons, it feels smooth to you. So as long as they match up the animations to what you're actually doing on the sticks, maybe your timing and everything, it'll make it look better. So, um, yeah, I don't really see no game on here to be honest that's like gonna change the way we play games. Only thing I can think of is Starfield. Um, let's just hope Starfield has something sweet. I don't really see nothing else that feels like it could be Redfall, but I think Arcane does what Arcane does, and it's kind of like they all have this similar type of style of their games. Um, Deathloop, I'm not gonna say that it wasn't like a cool concept. It was a cool concept. I just once I realized that they did it before, that means that they kind of still take that same type of that way of how they make games is just kind of utilizing some of the things that they've done in the past, which is always fine because they just refine it and make it a better thing. But I don't find it to be something that's going to be groundbreaking or something like that. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. All I know is I have a bunch of games that I'm okay with playing, and there's going to be a few games that I'm going to be like, okay, maybe if it go to Game Pass, like Stalker 2, I play it. Atomic Heart doesn't have a actual release date, but that's something I've been following heavily. Um, we'll see. We will have to see. Um, but yeah, at least they have some decent ones that they shown. Everything doesn't look like it's gonna be garbage or whatever. Uh, what else? What else? What else? I don't really think there was anything else I want to talk about. I know we talked about what we anticipated, what we had in 2021, and then there was something else that I was going to talk about. I don't remember. Hmm.
The only other thing was like TV. Um,
Oh yeah. We were going. Oh, but that was
but
Hawkeye. We already know
Yeah.
what that is. People, if you want to know about Hawkeye, um, I don't know. Go watch some paint dry. Nah, I'm not
mm,
gonna say it was terrible because at least up until the fourth episode, I was interested. It
yeah.
was cool again introduced to Ronan again. It was cool again introduced to Kate Bishop. It was cool seeing him struggle with the family situation. It's just like after that, they kind of dropped every plot line that was important to me and just started talking about stuff I did not care about. So, and they wrapped it up very terribly. But I mean, if you still want to waste your time, at least watch the first 4 episodes, and then skip to the end, and you'll see what I mean. Or, you can watch it all the way through. It's not like it's a terrible time. It's just not the greatest time, and the payoff is not worth the time, in my opinion. And it doesn't really do anything to set up the rest of the universe. Nothing. I don't see it. I mean, it could possibly fall back to it, but there's nothing in there that felt like, oh, I need to know this outside of introducing Kate. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's
and all they gotta
normally
do,
Marvel is a lot better at every show being at least obviously you gotta have some knowledge of the Marvel movies, but like it tells a unique story that is
useful
good
in the
on its
future.
own. Yeah, and useful in the future. Whereas like Hawkeye, it doesn't really do any of that. Like you have to know what happened in the other movies, but it doesn't set up anything interesting other than introducing like you said, a couple characters that might show up on another TV show somewhere, and it's yeah, and the ending just wasn't exciting.
Mm, not at all. What was your favorite Disney Plus
Show.
Marvel, yeah, show?
Um, I don't know actually because I liked most of the ones earlier. Like I liked WandaVision a lot. I liked Loki. I liked Winter Soldier. Um, and I liked What If. So I feel like all of those are at least I would definitely recommend them to everybody if you're
Mm-hmm.
interested. Whereas Hawkeye, I wouldn't I wouldn't probably recommend it at all. Um, what else came out this? It wasn't no Mandalorian this year or anything, right?
No, like TV wise, like on Disney, no.
Yeah,
That was last year in 2020, I believe.
yeah, Boba Fett is I think
Hmm.
was supposed to come out soon.
Um, I mean, really, um, yeah. I mean, my favorite one, and I guess I could just pick. It was Winter Soldier one. Just because of uh, it was just cool to see, I guess, and
Hmm.
I felt like it was a more of a grounded, more realistic story, but it also had meaning of the future, and it had a lot of implication on where it's going to go in the future for Captain America.
Hmm.
And I mean, Hawkeye did the same thing, but Hawkeye just didn't have any impactful
Well,
stance
Winter
or.
Soldier was like dealing with all of their problems, but also like, what if the black Captain America, the first one, or evil Captain America, and it was more going on related to that, where it's like
Hmm.
all they did was in Hawkeye, this is the new Hawkeye, and that's it.
Yeah, and didn't make him.
She
eh,
didn't have no real struggles. She didn't have to deal
Yeah.
with, racism like Sam did. Ronan killed a bunch of people, but he didn't even like have to deal with that really. He said sorry to one person. That's it.
Yeah.
uh so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So I mean, like I said, you guys can still watch it. I don't think we spoiled anything. I mean, yeah. I don't think we spoiled nothing, but you can still watch it. Enjoy it, and let us know what y'all think as well. Because really, it was pretty lackluster for me. Um. Obviously, everybody went to go see. I don't think Jalen went. Jay, did you go see Spider Man? Spider Man.
No, I ain't see it.
Nah, Spider Man. I'm just playing. Spider Man go crazy. That's all I say. I ain't gonna spoil it for nobody. Spider Man go crazy though. Um, but I ain't got no really other outside of Demon Slayer. They old stupid. give you one episode a week. I really don't like that. Netflix have spoiled me, and at some point I'm gonna just stop watching until they all drop. So, but Demon
So
Slayer
you
came back.
still y'all still binge watching 6 episodes a day when
Of
stuff come
what?
out? Anything like when they Netflix drop.
6 episodes. You talking about we
I
watched
don't.
the whole thing. I watched the
Y'all watch the
whole.
whole thing as soon as it drop?
I've watched so many shows the whole thing way through. Yes,
Man,
True Story.
I
When
only did
True
those
Story
quick,
dropped with
man.
Netflix, with Kevin Hart, watched every episode. It was like 8 episodes, all an hour. Gave it 8 hours of my life. When Squid
man.
Games came out, it was like 18 hours. I gave all that time to Squid Games immediately. I didn't stop. When Witcher came out, I watched that through for the entire day. That was all I did. So I do that all the time. Like it is like something I'm capable of doing, and I don't know. After I finish it, I'm fine. I feel like I could have did other stuff, but at the same time, I'll be like, I'm not someone I'm willing to wait. So I just be like, this has really, uh, fed that and have made me the I need to watch it. I need to know what happened next now type of person I am. Like only time I don't finish something is because I'm not interested. You can tell
Mhm.
something's not going to be interesting or not like good, like the fourth episode in. If the fourth episode is dry than a mother, then you just really ain't no point of finishing it. I'll be like, bro, this is mad dry, and it's sitting there and it's dragging out. Y'all not doing nothing. I'm not talking about nothing. What is the point of this show? So, um, so not I truly binge watch everything. I watch everything that I ever watch on Netflix now is all binged. HBO has been nice to get enough to give us 3 episodes a week on certain things, but they still ain't let me binge. I was huge on Gossip Girl, so I watched all of the new Gossip Girl, and it was trash. I'm not say trash, but it was not great. The original Gossip Girl was much better. Um,
Yeah.
it was okay. It was okay. I just don't like new TV now, man. Everything has to be so inclusive. I guess it's just so like I'm not
And
saying
that's
it's not a good thing. I'm just saying it feels forced. Sometimes it
it
feels
is.
as if it's not genuine or if it's not, but at the same time, how can I say that something's not genuine or not something's not the norm? Because my norm is not what is perceived on the screen. I can't say that. So it's like what all I can say is when I look at something and from an objective stance, I can say this added nothing to the story. This added nothing to this character. This added nothing to this, and maybe that's all it's meant to be. It's not to be. It's just to be. It's just to be there, but it doesn't add anything to you to the story. I like my characters to have something there, and then have it a reason behind said that thing. But sometimes you can have characters that just are defined in these ways, and it goes absolutely nowhere. That's okay, but it really grinds my gears when it happens because I feel like either the writer was lazy or it just doesn't make really much sense. And but you have to think of it on the flip side, right? You got to think of it as okay, if they didn't add this in, and like I guess not flip side like that. Why should it matter? I mean, and that's what it kind of is. It's not. I'm not talking about just somebody being like gay or somebody being abused or somebody. I'm talking about the whole plethora of tropes of a character, and then there's things that they put in that sometimes to create inclusive situations, right, where everyone has a speaking role or everyone has like some some type of important situation to occur, but it literally does nothing for the story. and it just felt like it was sat there to happen. It needed to happen to show that this is something that can happen, or this is something that can occur, or I don't know. I feel like I'm talking the same thing over and over. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes when I watch newer shows, it has these things there that make me turns me off of the show because it feels as if it's either the character being very stupid, the situation being blown out of proportion, or but it's trying to express people's realities that I don't see every day. But those realities seem like so far fetched sometimes that I feel like it's forced when it could be normal realities for people. Does that make sense?
Nah,
Yeah, a lot of times
I,
it can be. Go ahead, Jalen.
nah, I was just about to say like sometimes I don't watch a lot of TV and stuff like that. I feel like some things are a little forced. Like they might show some scenes or something like that that really doesn't have anything to do with the story, and it's like a side character or something like that. Um, and I have tried to y'all know I always try to like empathize and see things from different perspectives and things like that. But like um, it's like these are things that go on, things that we might not see because it's not like our reality per se because it happened behind closed doors and stuff or whatever. But I mean, I guess it's cool if it bring awareness, but sometimes I feel like it's either forced in there at an inconvenient time, or it's forced in there and it goes on too long, and you like, well, this didn't add anything. I mean, now you're wasting my time or whatever. Granted, it's their form of art and stuff and how they want to express their show, but um, I don't know. I just
Sometimes they
always
get
felt
in their
like,
own way. Sometimes I'll be like, this could have been great here, but y'all took it here, and it doesn't really work. But I could see why this would want to be portrayed. And versus, you know, something that's natural. It's like this makes sense for this character. Versus, I could see why I can justify the reason for portraying it this way. That's not good writing to me. It makes me feel like I am being I'm being fed something, but then again, that's where I have to fall back and say, what is my perception of it, and why do I feel like this is I have to justify this being here versus just it let it just be, you know? That's where it kind of falls into that old thing, but sometimes I feel like we got a valid point. Like this is stupid. This doesn't need to be here. But sometimes you just shut up, and that's why I be like, that's why I be like, I don't really like to talk about it. But it's like I don't really like to talk about my not taste, but I don't like to talk about perception because perception is not it's fleeting. It's perception is like it's for you and you alone. It's not for everybody. Your perception of a character or your how you perceive something is for you and you alone. It's not for the world. I think a lot of people have these floating perceptions out there that turn into these opinions that turn into fact when it's all wrong because this is how you perceive something. You don't know if this is how they wanted you to perceive it. This is how you perceived it, then it turns to an opinion, then it turns into a fact or for you. And then I think people just run with it. But really, and when you look at it, you can just look at it as objectively. And that's where you kind of say, objectively, did this cause this to occur? Did this help move the plot forward? And then I'm so busy playing the objective role that I'm not really feeling what that character is going through. I'm more as objection. It's like what was the objective of this occurring? And now I pull myself out of the scene, out of the character, out of that world to to calculate the objective of why this is here, and that causes the show a disconnect from me to the show. Not saying that it makes the show bad. It disconnects me from the show. I don't know if I explained that well, but that's the only way I can think of it. I can think of it that way because it's objective. If you're looking at something objectively, you're not judging it. You're just trying to figure out how it could piece together. If you're looking at it with how you perceive it, and then it's different. And that's where you kind of leave it for me. I leave it as an objective viewpoint versus an actual perception of what they wanted to do with it.
I'll say that I don't, at least thinking of different shows, like I don't see any situation or perspective that I couldn't uh enjoy in the story unless it's not done well. So, for example, you have Batman or Superman, and everybody has their own idea of Batman and Superman in their head. And then throughout the story, they introduce something and it doesn't feel like it fits either the characters or the world or the story. And that's likely because it wasn't actually developed well enough to feel natural. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so that could always be an issue. But I think that as long as that the writers have the time and plan to do it, then it will come out well. But I feel like with a lot of TV shows, they don't have, for whatever reason, they don't have the time or they don't have the right people to write the story in to be good, and it just feels forced. Or I would say like just going for brownie points sometimes. It's not every show, but for example, like Yuri watches, my wife watches all sorts of dramas that comes on Netflix, and she likes them all. And she tried to watch the new Sex and the City, and I never seen her like actually turn off a TV show before because she hated it, but she did because it's like, these are older white women in New York, they're rich,
And she
and
doing a
it's like one.
podcast with some stupid. Man, that junk had me so annoyed. I was like, "What is this? Is
Yeah,
this
and then
really?"
she turned it off when like the white lady was she showed up to the school and the black teacher couldn't get in because she didn't have her ID. She was trying to help her, like, why are you treating her like this and blah blah blah. And you can tell these people really just wrote in this show, this white lady's gonna defend the black lady from being discriminated against to going into the school.
Oh my
And
god,
it felt
Karina
like
cut it
so
off so
fake and
fast.
forced, and she turned it off. And it was like,
Karina cut it off so fast. I was like,
yeah.
"Thank you, please." And then she got mad because they killed Mr. Big. She was like, "I'm not doing this with this stupid show." So she quit on the first episode. But I mean, that really had like a lot in just the first episode, and I was like, Sex in the City was about these white women living these obscene lives and just chilling in the city, and it still works because obviously you can do that, and you don't have to put too much thought into it because that was the reason why it was good in the first place. Nobody had a problem how you looked at it in that from that lens because it's a TV show and you don't necessarily need to have this viewpoint of portraying inclusiveness because what it's meant to show is these white like I would never
Yeah, it's
expect
privileged white
insecure.
women in New York,
Yeah,
and that's what you showed up to see. And so you don't have to show these privileged white women being sympathetic for
you
unprivileged
don't you
people
don't have to
when the whole
because
point of the show is just being rich.
they're oblivious to the world, and this is what they cater to, and that's fine because we have shows that cater exactly to us that don't bring in like Insecure would never be caught dead catering to white people. It's catering to the audience that they feel like it was connected to and what this character wanted to bring to the show. So if it was to come back and now you got all of these like objectives to it's like you have these goalposts that you want to cut off, check off as you're going through it. Is it now? Is it even insecure anymore? If she's doing things that don't seem like an insecure person, or it's like it's like literally changing the foundation of the show to become inclusive, and that really kind of was like, nah. Just like Gossip Girl, I was like, there's it just it was just things that were occurring in the show that didn't make sense. There were things that were occurring in the show that just didn't help do anything. One of my favorite plot lines was the dude in the thruple. I didn't have a problem with the thruple. I just had a problem with the how it was I like that portion of it drew the most interest to me than to everything else, because it was like it felt like it was an actual it could happen. It was like a reality type of, it felt like they had at least written that well. But then there's everything else around it. I just felt like it didn't make sense. It didn't really work. There was moments where it was good, and there was moments where it was just like, how you can tell that there is something that is occurring that they want to occur versus something that's just there to happen, and it's just like I truly enjoy shows that don't treat people as if they have to have these like um like New Girl, Winston being a police officer and being black. It wasn't something that was brought up constantly. Winston was a police officer, but there were situations that occurred that made it interesting. Obviously, that's a sitcom versus a like things, but it was like, you don't have to fall into a box, but you can still be funny. It's still things that like it just feels like that's where shows are going, where shows are starting to cater more towards this inclusiveness, where they have to check off a box. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm not saying everybody doesn't deserve to be portrayed on screen. I'm saying it's not necessary for one, uh established sitcoms or established shows like Gossip Girl and freaking Sex and the City. You don't need to put that in that. You create shows that shows people in these lights. You create things like Master of None, and you had the whole Lithia storyline. You create shows that actually show them in a good light, that actually show them the way they truly are. You create shows. You just create better freaking shows, bro. It's like, I've watched plenty of things on Netflix that don't have to deal with white people, that don't deal with black people, that deal with like Indian people, that deal with Asian people, that deal with, well, Asian is the same thing, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like it deals with a different bunch of different cultures, and they deal them in a good way. I just don't feel like there's you have to fill that slot of prime time, I guess, if they consider it prime time, with that as well. I just feel like you kind of mess up the show. So I'm gonna leave it there, because I don't want to disrespect anyone, but I just feel like that's what I'm seeing a lot of, and that's why I watch a lot of fantasy now, because it's just like, you don't have to deal with it in fantasy. They don't usually have to, deal with, if they deal with anything, they're dealing with slaves, and it's dealing with slaves in a way where it's not just black people. It's pretty much anybody could be a slave, or it's dealing with something that where it's like these universal issues versus dealing with our reality issues, and their try hard and convince me the world needs to get healed type of way. Like, bro, I know this. I know it needs to heal, bro. I just don't need you to tell me this in my comedy shows. Like, I'm here for one thing only. I want to watch this to enjoy it, for the characters that bring and what they go through and some of the things that they get into and the mess they make and whatever. But don't try to force to feed me down your political views, your all of the tropes and the characters that you feel like necessary to be shown now. Because I get it, I truly do. But sometimes I just groan when I see something that talk about. I started literally. I was growing. I was like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" When they were talking about, um, it was something. They went to a rally or whatever, and they were talking about in Gospel Girl. I think it was a rally about it was like a house was being. I think it was being what's named, and then there was anyways I forget the plot line, but basically I just start it's starting to feel like every time I hear a plot line that comes into play for even Black Lives Matter or something like that, I feel like this is so forced and it's not helping. All it does is make me feel like everything I watch is politically charged and it's not cool. I just don't like it. So
Yeah, I think that if we compare enough TV shows over time, I feel like everything has always been that, but maybe it was done better in the past,
so much better.
or it's done more, I'll say blatantly now. Because
It's
I feel
more
like with
purposeful. This feels like it's slighted. It feels like a slight to you versus purposeful. It don't feel the same. But you could continue.
well, I'll say I didn't like this show. It's like the type of show that I like because it's, I guess, aimed at teens. But the All American, Yuri was watching that, and I know that the whole point of the show is about, well, a lot of things, but teenagers dealing with teenage things. So they're doing drugs, they're dealing with police, and how people view black people or interracial couples and stuff like that. And even though I don't like that type of show, I feel like they did a okay job on most of those topics, only because it seems like that's the whole point of the show. Like you can tell, like this is what they want to do. It doesn't seem like a forced in single plot line that they came up with. Like, oh, we gonna talk about the conservative rally and being friends with the conservative supporter, and that's a single plot line. It feels forced and undeveloped, and it's like, okay, why? What's the point? It's not really interesting, but y'all did it anyways. Um,
Yeah.
Whereas, if you want to have an entire show about that and it seems realistic and the writing is good and the characters seem like they interact well, I'm sure you could write a good story about anything. But
Mm. No, I think there's good shows out there, and I think there's great shows out there, and I think there's amazing shows out there. I just know what I see as a trend, and when I see a trend like that, I just I get skeptical. What the? Can I say the word right? I get skeptical on whether or not they actually mean what they're saying versus like check off a box because it's not done well. It's not a real true plot. It's not a real because it's like one episode and done kind of deal.
yeah,
Whereas sometimes when you're seeing these things and you sometimes it's lingering effects. Like this one lady, it was very quick. Like I truly love Sex Education. That's like one of my favorite shows on Netflix. But it deals with not just it deals with so many heavy topics and they do it well that you don't feel like it's being forced. It feels like you're just watching the show and going through these characters' lives. It doesn't feel like there's um like this weird, I don't know, this weird hovering of the writer saying, okay, this has to happen, so make it happen. It feels like these have it's like an evolution, and they don't just let it build up. They don't just throw you in for one episode and throw you out. It's kind of like this stuff happens over time. You see the development in the character. You see that they actually care about each and every last one of these characters, and they're going to grow, and they're going to show things and make them grow even more. So, love that show. One of my favorite shows, period. But it's things that's done well like that, and then there's other shows, and it's just like, no. You could have did this better, but or you could have provided a better plot line for this character. You didn't have to just put him here and say, or put her here and give him this trope or give him this characteristic and then not do anything with it. Some people just being dumb to be dumb. Some people being abusive just to be abusive is not really something that's really helping. Some people just, it's plenty out there. All you gotta do is look at the new shows and you'd be like, what is this garbage? But it's still out there. It's still available. You just go check it out. I ain't naming no names outside of Gossip Girl and Sex and the City. Everything else, you're just gonna look. But there's great shows out there and there's bad shows. But it's pretty much at time. We had a lot of time. Is there anything, any lasting things that you guys want to say before we get up out of here? Because we got time.
And what's your favorite show, Jalen? Now that Insecure is done, what you gonna watch?
SpongeBob.
Shoot. Honestly, I don't even know, man. I mean,
did you like the ending? Did you like the ending of Insecure?
I mean, that's straight. I mean, they have a whole lot of stuff that really good pop off. So, I mean, it's cool. It could have been a little bit better, but it's fine the way it is.
Gotcha. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Karina did not like it, but she said they wasted too much time on the other guy. Said he was stop playing with us and pretend like they're not gonna get together. Y'all wasted all this time and now you gotta jump forward and spoiler, but now you gotta jump forward and y'all together now. We don't get to see much of it. Y'all trash. So she was mad about that.
Yeah, waste a lot of time. I agree with that. But a lot of time it is.
Lots and lots of time, but find some time. Okay. All right, y'all. All right. We will talk to you guys in the next episode. You can always find this on the Buzzsprout, where all podcasts are available, actually. Not just Buzzsprout, but all podcasts are available, as well as my YouTube channel, BCD Universe. Thank you for listening. If you got to this part, you're the true OG. And we will talk to you guys next week. Peace.